Hey everyone, it's Paige. Welcome back to my channel. So because of the pandemic, it has been almost a full year since I've actually done like a used book shopping video. Haven't had a lot of luck with used book sales because they've been canceled a lot. I haven't had a lot of luck with Ollie's. And finally, I got a postcard in the mail that let me know that my local YWCA was going to be having a used book sale. So I decided that I would go for myself to haul books, and I would go to get books for work, so books that college students can read. Now, my local YWCA is in a old Victorian house in town. It's an extremely beautiful Victorian mansion, very well kept. It has the last freestanding spiral staircase in the county of Westmoreland. This is my first time being there and getting to see the house and getting to go to one of their book sales. The women who work there are super friendly, super willing to help. So without further ado, I'm going to show you that book shopping experience, let you get to see the women who work there and all of the books that they set out, and then we'll come back here to my library and we will speed haul 29 books together. It's gonna be great.
Hello, my name is Carol Pelsick, and I am the Executive Director here at the YWCA. Currently, we're in the middle of our used book sale, one of the largest fundraisers that we do here at the mansion. The book sale will run through Saturday, and actually Saturday is our bag sale, so you can fill up a bag like this for $10. We also rent the mansion, the different rooms. You can rent for family functions, for bridal showers, for wedding receptions. There's a fully equipped kitchen that's available as well. And this year will be the last year for our book sale, our once-a-year book sale, as we're opening a used bookstore here in the mansion on the basement level. So please come in and join us for the book sale. Absolutely. Are you still shopping? You want to leave them? You want to leave them right here and we'll put them aside for you?
Yeah, I entered them. Gotcha.
I saw the front.
No, that's okay. You're fine. Hello. I'm Gabby. Good to see you. Like what?
We have water here, so let's wait and see what's left after.
Okay, so we are back for day 2 of book shopping. This time Troy's with me.
Hello. I'm glad you could have made it here. This is day 2 of the book sale.
As you know, today is the bag sale. Yeah. I'm probably not going to get any books for myself today, but I am going to be getting books for work. So I'm going to look for books that would appeal to other people that will be reading them. And sure, maybe we'll find something.
Oh, it's a book about me. Because I'm both.
Now, how many times can you do it without wanting to puke?
Well, more than you said.
Okay, so we are back home. This is the current mess of the room. I've put down how many books I got. It is 29 books. So now it's time to wrap them all up. Okay, so I'm not sure exactly how you speed haul 29 books, but I definitely don't want this to take a million years, so we're just gonna hop into it and hope for the best. If you stick to the end of this haul portion of the video, I actually have a really cool find to show you. I recently came across a very old Dutch Bible. So I feel like that would be fun to throw into this little haul and show you guys. But anyway, let's get started. Okay, starting off with the portion of books that I got for myself is The Devil in the White City by Eric Larson. This is a true crime American history biography set in Chicago in the 1800s. It tells the story of two men, one who was an architect in Chicago and one who was a serial killer. Woohoo! Okay, next I got Les Miserables by Victor Hugo. This is a classic piece of French literature. Again, follows two men. One is an inspector and the other one is an escaped convict, and their paths continuously cross. So actually kind of funny that these two are very, very similar. Next, another very pretty book. I got Stories of Romance from the Age of Chivalry by Frederick J.H. Darton. This has a collection of chivalric romances and Arthurian tales, plus fables and folklore. I saw the cover, I saw its sheen, I saw Arthurian legends, and I decided to get it. So next, I got The Japanese Lover by Isabel Allende. This is an historical fiction romance set during World War II. This is set shortly before Pearl Harbor and then afterwards, and it follows a love story between a Japanese man and an American woman who are separated when the Japanese man is forced into internment camps after Pearl Harbor. Yeah, did we forget that piece of American history? Troy just gave me a look. Did you hear internment camp and you were like, yeah. Yep. I have another historical fiction book up next, The English Patient by Michael Ondaatje. I have actually read his Running in the Family, which is a memoir, but this is actually set at the end of World War II, and it follows, I think, 4 different perspectives of people whose lives were damaged during the war. Another historical fiction coming up, but this one's more recent, and that is A Thousand Splendid Suns by Khaled Hosseini. He is the author of The Kite Runner, obviously, which I read last year, and completely it tore my heart apart. I was told that this book is even sadder. Again, this is set in Afghanistan during the last 30 years. It kind of follows the Soviet invasion of Afghanistan, the American involvement in government, and then the kind of creation of the Taliban. What do you know? Next up is another extremely wildly popular historical fiction, and that is The Dutch House by Anne Patchett. This is about a man who, at the end of World War II, buys a house called the Dutch House for his wife, and this purchase ends up in the desolation of, I guess, his fortune and his family. So I don't know how that connects, but sounds rough, buddy. Okay, moving like a little bit away from your like everyday historical fiction, I actually got like a Western book, like a recently written Western book that I've heard about called Outlawed by Anna North. This is set during the late 1800s, and it's also in the categories of LGBT, feminism, adventure. It's like everything you could want in a book. This follows a woman who cannot seemingly get pregnant, and for fear of her life in a community where women who are barren are executed for being witches, she ends up joining an outlaw gang of women who take in, you know, women. Anyway, yeah, an outlaw gang of women in the Wild West. Super cool. Okay, next is a book that I'm sure you've heard of. It is The Bluest Eye by Toni Morrison. This is about an 11-year-old African-American girl who desperately wants to change her life for better or worse. Okay, you guys ready for a super random one? I got Ella Enchanted by Gail Carson Levine. This is a definitely middle grade young adult fantasy novel. Follows Ella, who has been blessed / cursed by her fairy godmother to always tell the truth no matter what. Used to love this movie growing up. I've watched it a million times. I know that the movie is not like the book. I'm hoping maybe I'll read the book and see for myself. Next up, we actually have another true crime, and that is The Monster of Florence by Douglas Preston. This is about a man who moves to Florence in 2000, and he realizes that the farmhouse that is, I think, close by to where he moves is actually the location of the serial killing spree that happened in the 14th century. And working with an investigator, they actually start to uncover who that serial killer was, who is called The Monster of Florence. Okay, this last book is the last book that I got for myself, but I also got 2 copies, one for myself and one for work. That is the Da Vinci Code by Dan Brown. This is a regular version of the book, and this is the illustrated version of the book. If you're not familiar with the Da Vinci Code, I myself have not read it yet, but it is a very popular adventure, mystery, historical fiction. This book takes off after the curator at the Louvre is murdered overnight and his body is carved with weird symbols. The investigators start to connect those symbols back to the Da Vinci Code, but it has like all these glossy illustrations, colored and everything, of all of the like, you know, artifacts and places that are talked about in the book. So this should be a really fun read, I think. Oh, sorry, and just really quickly, I'm gonna show you 2 books that my mom got. So she got a couple Christmas books to lay out on the coffee tables or whatever. These are some classic Christmas carols, and this is Christmas in America. So thought you'd be interested to see. They're huge and they're heavy. Okay, starting with the selection of books that I got for work is The Weight of Water by Anita Shreve. This is like a contemporary historical fiction because it's split perspective, follows a woman who is investigating the axe murder of 2 women in the 1800s. I also found a ton of Mitch Albom. They didn't have actually a good copy of Tuesdays with Morrie, which I have read, but I did find For One More Day by him in really good condition. Essentially, this is like an inspirational self-help fiction sort of book about a man who regrets a day so much in his life that he ends up trying to take his own life, and in doing so, he gets to relive that day finally. Actually sort of reminds me of The Midnight Library. Okay, next up, very educational academic book. This is The Best Loved Poems of the American People. Got some Emerson in here, some Browning, you know, big people in here. Picked up a copy of Mark Twain's The Adventures of Tom Sawyer, which is definitely a historical fiction set very shortly after the Civil War, follows Tom Sawyer. Also picked up A Tale of Two Cities by Charles Dickens, follows a bunch of different perspectives during the French Revolution. Moving into some like non-fiction political sort of books. I got Descent into Chaos, the US and the Disaster in Pakistan, Afghanistan, and Central Asia by Ahmed Rashid. This kind of explains what happened during the American involvement in the Middle East after the Soviet invasion and the formation of the Taliban and all of that kind of stuff, which I feel is obviously super relevant right now, so this seems like a good book to add to that collection for the kids. I picked up another nonfiction book called Is Paris Burning? It explains how Paris miraculously escaped Adolf Hitler's sentence of death in August 1944. This is by Larry Collins and Dominique Lapierre. This actually sounds really, really cool. I hope they like it. I think this next one is the last like non-fiction book I got, but I got Tales of Old New England. I found it in really good condition, and I was looking through, and there are tons of different like photographs and illustrations to kind of explain how New England came to be what it is today, and very like specific cultural things that we see in New England, like the culture of fishing there and boating and, you know, things like that. Next, I found a really nice copy of Madame Bovary. Madame Bovary is a classic piece of French literature set during the 19th century. Follows Madame Bovary, who is a bored wife who is looking for some affairs to get through her days. Yep. Okay, next I found a really nice copy of A Study in Scarlet and The Hound of the Baskervilles by Sir Arthur Conan Doyle, of course. Yes, this book has both books in it, so about right in the middle it kind of switches over to The Hounds of Baskerville. It's in wonderful condition. And I think that the students will like this as well. Departing from literary fiction and, you know, classic literature, I got The Girl on the Train by Paula Hawkins for the students because I really enjoyed this. If you can hear my cat eating, I'm sorry. This is a semi-recently published mystery novel, follows a woman who takes the train every day to work. Every day she passes a house where she notices a woman, and one day that woman disappears, and she thinks that she knows what happened to her. I also picked up a copy of The Help by Catherine Stockett. This follows 3 black women in the South in the 60s who face off against racism and sexism and everything in between. 2 more, guys. Next up, I got Michelangelo and the Pope's Ceiling by Ross King. This is actually another nonfiction, but more so to do with art history. And of course, it follows Michelangelo's 4 extraordinary years spent painting the ceiling of the Sistine Chapel. Okay, one more, and that is The Invention of Wings by Sue Monk Kidd. This is a literary fiction novel. This essentially follows the perspective of multiple women who are struggling for liberation, empowerment, and so forth in America, I believe during the 1900s, or yeah, I'm not sure exactly what the time period is, but okay. Wow. Those are all the books that I got, and now I'm going to briefly show you the Bible that I got the other day. Let me take you over to the desk. Okay, so this Bible is actually not in wonderful condition. It is leather bound, so the spine has sort of come off. This is the New Testament. Written in Dutch. Okay, so this date is actually written in Roman numerals, and it is from, I believe, 1896. So, as you can see, you know, it actually has gilded edges. You can kind of still see the sheen. Very old. Obviously, I can't read it, but I wanted to show you guys, actually, somebody pressed a flower in here. Can't really tell what type of flower that is, but there's also this. Now, like I said, it's obviously falling apart, so if you have any suggestions on how to try to keep this in as best shape as I possibly can. You know, comment below and let me know, but yeah, I thought it was really, really cool. And I'll probably just keep it, you know, covered and everything in the library. Okay, so I'm gonna sign off here, but I hope you enjoyed the haul and the shopping and the old Bible and everything in between. If you did, please like, comment, and subscribe. Follow me on Instagram, Twitter, and Goodreads. I really have gotten better at updating Instagram, and I'm always pretty accurate on Goodreads too. Hope you guys are having a wonderful week, and I will see you back here very, very soon. Bye.